After a long time on the road, we were excited to learn that our last and final stop on the Midwest tour was under 100 miles from Traverse City. And while we'd arrive well after dark, we'd be right in the thick of the action, because on the Ausable and surrounding rivers, the big Mayflies are out all night. Daytime fishing starts pretty early, especially for the guides that have been out all night chasing hatches, and it's been like this for a very long time at the Douglas House, now the North Branch Outing Club, which was originally established by T.E. Douglas after he realized his lumber business was on the decline. Douglas started promoting fly fishing on the North Branch of the Ausable to prominent anglers of the time. Many anglers have ventured from around the world to fish the North Branch of the Ausable, with members and guests such as Henry and Edsel Ford, Harvey Firestone, the Dodge brothers, Thomas Edison, and royalty from Europe. These days, the long-standing traditions are still alive and well, and the Ausable is being fished very much the way it has been for many years.
I'm Todd Fuller, and our family owns the historic North Branch Outing Club here on the banks of the North Branch, the Ausable River. We're 15 miles northeast of Grayling, Michigan. This is such a fantastic dry fly fishery. We spend probably 90% of our time, presenting flies on the top, which is, for me, the essence of fly fishing, and that whole visual, seeing that trout come up and eat that fly. So it's truly a fly fisherman's river here. So yeah, originally these rivers, the Ausable and Manistee River system, didn't have trout. They weren't native to this particular section of the river. The fish we did have here was the Michigan grayling, a relative of the Arctic grayling, which they have in Montana and in Alaska. It was about 1908 or 1910 was the last reported catch of grayling. So about 1869, they planted brook trout here in these rivers, and also shortly after brown trout, and they have been wild and natural reproduction ever since.
Jeff, I'm known as Bear Andrews. I've been guiding on and off since about mid-80s. Before I got into guiding full-time, I worked for General Motors as a pipe fitter, and just kind of did it on the side. Two of the most beautiful things that have ever been created are Drake wood ducks and brook trout. It's a really unique way to fish. If you let the river kind of do its thing and just point the boat where you need it to go, get onto it, it works out pretty well.
After a few weeks on the road in the Midwest, we realized that we barely scratched the surface. Our one regret, that we didn't have more time.